Hi, this is the bad boy, Joey Janela, and you're listening to the Going in Raw podcast, because Joey Janela always goes in raw.
This is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and you are listening to Going in Raw.
Hey everyone, Kenny Omega here. In case you didn't know, we have an awesome kick-butt show called Stephen Larson's Going in Raw, and they're going to be supporting AEW every week amongst many other things. Goodbye and smooch. Good night. Bye-bye.
Hey, FRIENDO, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you can be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson, and available wherever podcasts can be found. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Little notify bell next to it. How many likes do we want to get this episode up to, Larson? I say
1,200.
395. That's all I ask for. I don't ask for a lot. Let's get to 395.
Double that.
And then we're good.
Double that.
Double that? Fine. 460. You win.
Wow. Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Math. Great math.
Awesome math. Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to some patrons. We did it in the NXT episode, but some people don't want to watch that. They'll watch this instead. Monty Pittman, Anthony Wood, Fernando Mendoza, Samuel Cruz, DJ Booty Dan is back, and Nasty Habit. Thank you very much for your support this week on bonus content. We played a little bit more of a AAA Lucha Heroes del Ring with Psycho Friendo.
Yeah.
That's going up today.
He's kind of in and out of this particular narrative.
Yeah, right. It's an overarching story.
It is. It's a rich tapestry being drawn there, and Psycho Friendo plays but a role in it.
Absolutely. We also power rank top thrown together tag team champions. That was a lot of fun on a bonus episode. And then what is today? Thursday? I'm sure we did one other one. I don't remember what it was though. Anyways, so thank you all for your support. We do appreciate it. And then we also have, I forgot, I got to mention this too.
What?
You guys have asked for it.
Yeah.
You've asked for it. All right. So we decided to do it.
Done.
Here we go. Where is it? I don't even know where I put it. Oh, it's one of these here.
Man, just building up the anticipation. The drama is what
People
you're doing here.
So they're like, oh my goodness.
What is it?
Oh, look at that. That's right. Anti-cold garments.
Those are hoodies specifically.
So we went to the teespring.com and opened up a merch store there because they have hoodies.
Yes.
And so this is a premium hoodie. Premium anti-cold garment.
Well, it is a hoodie though.
Friendo Club, big on the back. On the crest, I guess.
Little
right
on the left chest,
where the pocket would be if this was a polo.
Over your heart.
Yeah, over your heart, because we should be your heart. Anyways, it's available now. Link is in the description. Buy it if you want to. If you don't want to buy it, it's cool too.
If you want to stay warm, I'd recommend maybe
this
you
is
give it a
one
try.
option
give it
for
a try.
sure. Absolutely.
And it's the only option with the Friendo Club logo on it that I'm aware of.
Well, unless there's something on Redbubble.
That's what I'm saying. I'm aware of.
Oh my goodness. Mr. Dope is headed to Houston.
Cool.
To Planet Houston.
Planet Houston.
For the Rumble.
Awesome.
He's terrified about boarding this plane.
Why?
Because planes they're kind of scary, man.
It's the safest means of travel.
Yeah, I know. You're right. It is. Isn't it like it's safer to be on a plane than like a train?
Yeah.
I think technically speaking, yeah.
Yeah.
Like whenever I go on a plane, I always look at the hosts, the air, what do they call them?
Flight attendants?
Flight attendants, yeah. Didn't they used to be called hostesses?
They used to be called stewardesses.
Stewardesses, that's what I'm looking for. The flight attendants. And I'm like, how do these people do this multiple times in a day?
Usually several times a day.
And they're cool as a cucumber.
They sleep in a hotel and then do it the next day. Yeah. And they get a couple days off.
And they just do that for a whole career.
Yeah, man.
Their entire lives. For me, it's the takeoff. Because I'm like, oh my God, I know somebody's not doing their job in air traffic control, so some other plane's taking off at the same time. Get T-boned, everybody's dead. So, Mr. Dope, hopefully you're okay.
Yeah, I
don't think that's going to happen to you.
I never had any issues flying into Houston. Getting out of Houston.
Yeah, right.
That's another issue.
Yeah, that's a fun story. Glad if I was going to go up in a ball of flames, it was going to be with you. Maybe I'm not so glad about that. Anyways.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd be glad about that.
I'm going to San Francisco later on today.
Yeah, be safe. At least it's not raining.
sfsketchfest2020.com?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, if you want to see some quality sketch comedy, meet Steve's Four Lights co-host, Jeff.
Yeah.
Watch
him in action.
Go. Yeah.
I'll be in the milling about in the crowd.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha, laughing. Ha ha.
Ha ha. Or are you going to heckle?
Yeah. Boo.
Get some tomatoes with you?
Yeah, exactly. Boo, I've seen your dirty undies.
I used to throw pennies at you when you snored.
That's totally true. That's a shoot. I used to do that. He used to snore because we shared a room. He used to snore, so I'd grab pennies. I'd keep pennies, and I'd throw them just above his head so that it'd wake him up, and then it'd start over again. And I'd hope that I can get to sleep before he started snoring again.
What if in the midst of throwing, when he did a penny went in the mouth?
You live and die.
Collateral
risk and reward.
Collateral
damage. I need my sleep. Sometimes I just accidentally just beam him in the head with a penny.
Yeah.
If I was extra salty that day.
Yeah.
Towards the tail end of our run as roommates.
Yeah. Did you anticipate anything like that occurring when you were like, sure, we'll share a room?
Oh, it was a bad move. In retrospect, I mean, look, it led to I have nothing but fond memories. I was miserable at the time. I hated it. Like we should have just not had the other roommate. And I moved into that room. You were the smart one in that particular situation.
I wasn't going to share a room. Hell no.
Yeah, that was smart.
I shared a room with my brother for a stretch growing up. And
you had the experience.
Yeah, I knew.
You had the experience.
Like, I'm technically an adult now. I don't want to share a room with anybody.
Yeah, that was smart, man. That was smart. We're trying to save $1.01. Anyways, AEW.
Sometimes it's worth spending a couple extra bucks for some privacy and some peace of mind.
Yeah, I know. It was my parents' money though, so I was trying to like help them as much as I could. I was very cognizant of them sending me to college on their own dime, so I was just trying to like
No, that's admirable.
Because God, I wasn't gonna get a job.
Yeah, no. I have to focus on my education.
Right, exactly. Oh man. So AEW crowned new tag team champions.
Yeah, kicked off the show. Overall, it was an all right show.
Oh, I thought it was really good.
That was fine. I thought it was all right.
Yeah.
The opening match was the best bout of the whole show. And it cemented Hangman Adam Page as one of the best things going in wrestling right now.
Yeah, we agree on that.
Man, he's so damn good.
100%. We agree on that.
Just give him a little opportunity to showcase some personality, let him develop a character.
Yeah.
And the way he's building to run with it. We talked about before we started where I keep expecting them to go overboard with the whole drinking thing. And they haven't done it yet. I thought he was going to show up drunk for this match.
Yeah.
Didn't happen. I mean, he was in the ring like pointing out to people. It's like, yeah, I'll grab your beer after the match. In the ring, he's all business. Out of the ring, he's a lush.
Yeah.
And the way he can portray the simmering tension he has about still being involved with these elite guys despite not really wanting to hang out with them is really understated.
Yeah.
It's really good. They have yet, possibly exist, they could go overboard with it.
They might. So I'm hoping
they might decide, all right, this is really good. Let's do too much of the good thing.
See,
and then it'd be too much.
I don't know if they would. See, that's a very WWE thing. It might just be in the natural course of storyline, and it's not out of the realm of possibility. They would say, okay, well, naturally, where would this go? Their tag team championships and partnership would end up being lost because he eventually does show up to the ring inebriated. That's a distinct possibility, and that's not something and that's actually some logical storytelling that could possibly happen. I hope they don't go that route because we've seen that legitimately in the ring before.
It was scary,
and it's not fun. You don't want to mess around with that kind of stuff, even if it's in a storyline capacity.
Well, I think the idea of where they start the show and Kenny's looking for Paige and he's already drunk, and Kenny's like, all right, we got an hour and a half to get you sober before our main event title match.
Yeah.
And so it's the whole thing about trying to get him sober. And it's not so much that Paige is inebriated that caused him to lose, is that Kenny's so damn exhausted from trying to sober him up, he doesn't have it during the match.
Yeah. Be interesting to see where SCU goes from here.
Yeah.
Because obviously they feel like this story, and it is a very interesting one. I really do appreciate that they started the year with the video thing that, Cody's video or whatever it was, saying the Elite need to get back on top. I really love that the tag team of the Elite, they're not the ones to come away with those tag titles. That was a very clever, smart move to have Hangman, because you and I both thought last week, okay, well, they're going to make it, they've made it to the tag team match, and this is where it's going to all fall apart.
Yeah.
And of course, Hangman doing plenty of gloating about, I went in there and I beat them up. And then, the Young Bucks come over and he's like, these guys.
Yeah. It was like, oh, funny, we won these before you guys did.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I know the Young Bucks are just, they're being just the right amount of overbearing and annoying.
Yeah, right.
In relation to kind of vicariously living through Kenny and Paige's success.
When can they take a hint? We mentioned this on the NXT show, just as an aside. When are these guys going to get a hint look, man, I understand that you're all friends and those guys are EVPs or whatever, but enough is enough. Do you want to win those titles or don't you? Stop palling around. I did see one little bit in the Elite. Being the Elite, when Hangman was like, Kenny, are you really gonna dress with these guys? We have a match against them. Why are you doing that? And he's got a darn good point. I'm on Hangman Page's side here. And on top of that, he crowd surfed.
That was amazing.
That was so great.
Put that heavyweight title on Page already.
That was so great. And here's the thing. Now I'd love to see it. He's getting to the point where I'm like, oh, okay, all right. Now I see it. It was too soon before. Drunk Page, I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic.
It's fantastic. So let's get into this match. Darn good match. Tons of fun. About halfway, maybe a third of the way through, SCU's got Page isolated until he lays out Kazarian with the lariat. He tries to go to the hot tag, get the hot tag to Kenny. Scorpio Sky drop kicks Omega off the apron, and then Kaz hits an Unprettier, gets a 2. One thing that I glean from this match is I really want to see, if not one, at least a series of one-on-one matches between Scorpio Sky and Kenny Omega.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think that would be absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, I think that'd be great.
Man, both of them are so good. So we get a double clothesline spot with Page and Kazarian. Eventually, Omega and Sky are tagged in. Kenny clears house, hits a Fisherman Buster, and Scorpio Sky gets a 2 count. Omega and Page hit a standing shooting star press moonsault combo. That earns him a 2. And then Page dives off the top rope onto Kazarian, who's in crowd. Mm-hmm. They really couldn't do any high-flying spots because, A, there was no mats around the ringside area. It was just deck.
Yeah. I really like the setup. I thought they did a really killer job. I mean, they're Excalibur and Tony and JR were talking about the conditions, windy but around 75.
Yeah, it looked pretty windy. Otherwise,
seemed lovely.
The weather seemed nice.
Absolutely lovely. Everybody seemed to be having a good time.
Yeah. So Kenny goes for a one-winged angel. Scorpio Sky escapes. Hits a Frankensteiner. Follows that with a TKO attempt, which Kenny escapes from. And then Page tries to hit a buckshot lariat on Scorpio Sky. Mm-hmm. He moves. Mm-hmm. Kenny eats the buckshot lariat instead. Sky follows with a TKO on Kenny. Page hustles in, breaks up that pin. And then Kazarian drops Page on the ramp with like a slingshot cutter.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
Back of the ring. Follows with like a DDT off the top rope on Kenny. That gets him a 2 count. SCU goes for their finish. SCU later. Kenny gets out of that. Hits a V-trigger on Scorpio Sky. Page and Kazarian, they're the legal men back in. Later on, Kenny goes for a V-trigger. Scorpio Sky intercepts him with a jumping knee of his own. SCU do hit their finish. And then Page pushes Scorpio Sky into Kazarian while he's making cover to break up the pin. Page in, he's legal. He hits Scorpio Sky with a buckshot lariat in the ring, out of the ring, on the ramp, and then follows with another one immediately on Kazarian to get the win. Mm-hmm. He scores the pinfall win for his team.
Yep.
Basically, as soon as the bell rings, like Young Bucks teleport to the ring.
Oh my God, they were so fast.
They want to celebrate.
Let these guys just celebrate. It's obvious. It's obvious he doesn't want anything to do with you. Mm-hmm. I've seen it on Being the Elite. We've seen it on Dynamite.
Yeah.
Leave the man alone.
I know.
You want to go see Kenny? Fine. Wait till later.
Wait till he makes his way backstage.
Right. You know what Page is going to do. He's going to go drink. So wait till he's got his best friend beer with him.
Just the look of annoyance on Page's face when he sees the Bucks in there. He's like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, yeah. But here's the thing. Like, it wasn't so obvious. It wasn't so obvious. It was you see it, but he's not being cartoonish about it.
No.
He's being what comes off as very authentic.
And then, like, there's conversation between him, and he's, like, pointing at the belt, like, we just won. Yeah. Let us have some time. Yeah. And then he leaves, and he grabs a beer, downs it, hops into the crowd, and the crowd surfs from the barricade area all the way up to the stage.
Yeah, it was
while
awesome.
drinking a beer.
While drinking a beer, and he had very good
balance with it.
I've never had the pleasure of crowd surfing before.
Yeah, much less crowd surfing while drinking a beer.
I would think that it's not you're not on obviously terra firma.
Yeah.
It'd be difficult to balance something like a drink, but man, he got it down pretty good.
Yeah, man. Yeah. He's a professional wrestler, maybe drinker too.
Evidently,
the way he chugs those beers, man.
I know. It's impressive.
So they're making a star of Hangman Page, at least in my eyes. He's far and away the most interesting character going on in AEW right now.
In mine as well. Because I've seen he's had everything except for that. Except for like people have connected with him, but he's needed some journey people can go on.
That's
with
relatable
him.
too.
Yeah.
And this is relatable.
Yeah, sure.
you start this huge thing with these guys you think are your friend. You think you're on the verge of massive success. And, the way they kind of – here's the thing, too, is if they had booked him with, like some strong creative and had him rack up a bunch of wins out of the gate, this wouldn't be effective at all. Mm-hmm. This feels earned.
Yeah.
Because he lost a ton coming into this thing where he thought he was going to be a huge star, turning down probably massive money from WWE, and potentially huge opportunity there to come here, and he's like floundering.
Yeah.
And because he's not doing well, he feels alienated from his friends. Mm-hmm. And so he only has one friend now. Beer.
Sweet booze.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And everything's very relatable.
Yeah.
So
it's good stuff.
I think it's really
it is. I am kind of curious though, and I think they're going by the philosophy of, Cody's, there are no good guys, no bad guys, they're just guys.
Yeah.
And women. But the crowd obviously loves Hangman. Mm-hmm. Do you think the crowd will start to split based on whose side they relate to more? I mean, it's not like the Young Bucks. Look, in my eyes, the Young Bucks are being annoying, but they're not doing anything that other than trying to support their friend.
Yeah.
And Hangman, obviously, he's acting also. I mean, the other side of that is, man, why can't this guy be, cool with his friends? We want to see the Elite be all happy, friendly together. Yeah. I wonder how the crowd down the line is going to react, or where are they going to take this Hangman thing? And if they start going into ground where he starts becoming a bit more of a dick, I'm really curious to see how they're going to play this out.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
I really like. There's no like, oh, it's a heel turn, or oh, these guys are good guys or a bad guy. It's just a situation between people.
Well, it's a situation because sometimes in the past when Cody has mentioned there's no faces, no heels, we're all just people. They'll apply that when they need to for a particular story, but it just changes based on the story being told. With Page, this seems like a through line.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
This isn't just, okay, we need him to heal him up here a little bit just for the sake of telling this story for the next couple of months, and then when that's over, we can just transition back to whatever he wants to be. Because sometimes when that happens too much, it's like, all right, I have no sense of who this person is. It's not complex. It's just flip-flopping for the sake of these short-term stories. But this is a through line through everything he does, and we all understand it. It's relatable. And then, you want to know where it's going to go. You want to know if there's going to be an outburst on his part, or the Young Bucks' part, or Kenny's part. Is he going to take things too far at any point in terms of the drinking stuff?
Where is this going to land us at Full Gear?
You mean Revolution?
I'm sorry, Revolution. Yeah. Who are they defending against?
The most interesting matchup would be them against the Young Bucks for the titles.
Seems too soon, though.
It potentially does.
Seems too soon. Maybe at February, March, April.
May.
Maybe at Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
Too, if they do that. So yeah.
But at some point, that has to be the match.
Oh, that's definitely going to be the match. And it's going to be very interesting to see Kenny being torn between the two of them. This is all really good stuff.
Yeah.
It's like my favorite story they got going right now.
Yeah.
Besides, of course, Mox wearing DDP rib tape on his head.
On his face, yeah.
But before we continue, Larson, here's some breaking news from the sponsor of today's show, Manscaped. We're here to bring you a pubic service announcement. After 18 months of research and development, we can confirm here at Going in Raw that Manscaped's team of engineers has created the greatest ball hair trimmer known to man.
As you all know, we've been talking for some time about how Manscaped helps protect your ball skin. Lord knows, man. It saved me from suffering through any more grooming mishaps when trying to keep the undercarriage free of tumbleweeds.
Ugh.
And we're happy to tell you all that Manscaped has created a new and improved Lawnmower 3.0.
Oh my gosh.
And it's available right now.
You got that right. The Lawnmower 3.0 features a cutting-edge ceramic blade, new and improved skin-safe technology, as well as a nifty LED attached to the trimmer, so you can see exactly what you're trimming down there. Keep your man zone free of cuts and snags with Manscaped.
And if you're listening to us right now, then you are one of the first to hear about this life-changing product. We want all of you, not just some of you, but all of you to experience this firsthand. Trust us, your balls will thank you.
Right now, get 20% off and free shipping with the code GIR at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code GIR. After that, we had women's division action. Priscilla Kelly taking on Britt Baker, the dentist. This match was sort of more just to get us to Britt Baker talking crap to Tony Schiavone. See?
Yeah.
Although I guess it could have been a bit of a tryout for Priscilla Kelly as well.
This is her first one-on-one match. She was in the Battle Royal at All Out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they seemed like they were kind of slow burning the Britt heel turn, and then until they weren't, they really turned up the fire on that particular character change.
Yeah, they sort of just started pulling all the levers on here's what to say as a heel now.
Yeah.
Because Tony after the match. So the match was what it was. Britt Baker ended up winning with her mandible claw, the lockjaw, yeah. And Priscilla had some high moments here.
Yeah.
But in the end, so Schiavone comes in and says, hey, he kind of chastised her a little bit.
Well, he says, hey, the end of that match might not have been on the up and up. I guess that means pushing off the ropes to reposition
sure.
Priscilla in the ring. But earlier on, she did grab Priscilla Kelly by the hair.
Yeah.
Which you're not supposed to do.
Yeah.
And then, she proceeded to talk a whole bunch of trash to Tony Schiavone. Says, hey, Tony, I understand, we know this is your meal ticket. You're not used to work at Starbucks.
Yeah, and then there was a great moment where he looks away and he mouths, "What the f?"
Well, it's because she said.
What was that first line?
No, first she just brought up him working at Starbucks, and then later on she says called him a shitty barista, and that's when he did the.
Yeah, that was good.
That was great. And if it was her crap talking to Tony, I thought it'd been pretty good. But then it was a catch-all heel promo. She started talking about how
great she looks.
She's a role model for everybody.
Yeah.
That she's the hottest woman on the boat. And that also she's brilliant. Oh, yeah, and I'm a dentist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I just feel like focus on...
Maybe pick one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was way too broad.
Yeah. And apparently it went on because they went to commercial during it.
And I thought it'd been kind of funny if they went to commercial and come back.
Yeah, I know.
And then she wraps it up.
I know.
Just like she's berating Tony for 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
That could have been good, but we come back from commercial and it's on to the next match. I'm like...
It'd have been great if he goes over there and he says, hey, the end of that match, could have been... What was the phrase he used? I forget. At the end of the match, I think
he said it wasn't on the up and up or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. She should have just, kicked him in the balls and been like, is that on the up and up? And then, stormed off. Because it was just rambling.
Yeah, it was. It needed focus is what it needed.
It did, and I feel like a swift kick to the balls, to the man zone.
Yes.
To Tony Schiavone's Manscaped, hopefully using Lawnmower 3.0.
Hopefully.
If she would have just given
He keeps his facial hair
you would think
nice
he would
clean,
do the same with his undercarriage, even though that's not really a picture I want. A swift kick to that. It's much more punctuating than her just sort of talking a little bit of crap.
I know it'd be good, too. I mean, if they did things how they did, they come back after commercial, and she just says, all right, get me some coffee now. Go.
Yeah, exactly.
Go.
Yeah. Anyways, after that we had Jurassic Express versus the Inner Circle. It was the team of Ortiz, Santana, and Jericho, right?
Yeah.
Team?
Yeah.
Okay.
XLAX and Y2J.
Yeah. And this is a fun match. I thought it was fun. I like Marco Stunt. He's fun to watch. And I like Luchasaurus. I like that Luchasaurus doesn't do... He keeps his moveset fairly simple, but all of his moves look really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like where he does the big boot, but his boot comes down with the guy.
Oh, yeah.
It's like he probably doesn't want to. Those big dudes, they always have to be careful.
I know.
And not get themselves injured.
Yeah.
And so
when
I
feel like a guy that large who is doing spin kicks and stuff, there's potential a lot of momentum, a lot of force coming around when that connects. So I kind of feel like, and I could be wrong about this, like when he does it, he's really doing it like 85% speed.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So not to get the full amount of torque on that spin kick, because he can probably legit knock somebody out with one of those tail whips.
Yeah.
Because he's a big dude.
He's a big dude.
So we get Jericho and Jungle Boy Jack Perry to start. Jack's working over Jericho. Pretty good. Eventually, though, Jungle Boy misses a drop kick. Ortiz, his gimmick now is just like scratch people's backs. Mm-hmm. That's like all he does now anymore.
Yeah. And he mugs to the camera a lot.
Yeah. Did they do that in TNA?
Not as much. I feel like not as much. I feel like they're a bit more grounded in TNA.
Yeah, I feel that way too.
Yeah.
Anyways. So Inner Circle, like Jungle Boy's isolated for like 2/3 of this match, it felt like. Marco got in a little bit. He got some offense in. where it looked like it was pretty obvious that a tag happened and Aubrey was looking right at him. Mm-hmm. But she was like, no tag.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Yeah, I know.
Anyways, Jungle Boy eventually, though, hits the Poison Rana, gets the tag to Luchasaurus. Luchasaurus clears house with a bunch of kicks. Double choke slam to Ortiz and Jericho. Follows with a standing moonsault, and Jericho gets a 2. And then Jake Hager comes up behind Luchasaurus, clubs him. There was a mystery tag at some point there where Marco did get tagged in.
Yeah.
Because Luchasaurus just fights up the ramp with Jake Hager. Marco goes up top, hits a 450 on Jericho, gets a 2. And then Marco tries for 3. Pinning combination. Jericho kicks out of each of them, and then it hits the Judas effect to get the win.
It's funny because it sort of outlines, and this is not when you pull a bunch of people from the indies and put them on it consistently in front of TV, you're going to see stuff like this. It does sort of put a bigger. It makes me appreciate what I see in NXT and on like WWE main roster more, because the tags in NXT, for example, in the matches we saw this week, they're so seamless and they're always caught on camera. They always make sense, and they're always so crisp. And I've never given it any thought until everybody started talking about AEW. It's like, oh, you need to, tags have to matter and this and that and the other one. And I don't know. It's just one of those interesting things. I honestly think that AEW gets by far more on the charm of its product than sticking to the nuts and bolts of like all the
rules of wrestling.
The rules of wrestling.
Yeah.
And I know there's people who out there are like, oh no, you need to do all that stuff, and I get it. I understand. It's okay to be a stickler for details.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's an interesting juxtaposition.
It
It's
is.
just interesting to see where they're pulling people from. People that are wildly over, but still don't have the polish of a WWE product.
Yeah.
Just interesting to take a look at both of them.
Yeah. After that, we had MJF Cody video package highlighting, the ongoing saga between them. That leads to an MJF match against Joey Janela. Early on, MJF offers his hand to Joey. Joey's like, all right, fine. And then MJF just spits in his face. Leaves the ring, starts walking up the ramp. Joey follows. MJF sticks his thumbs in his eyes. Charges towards Joey. Joey backdrops MJF into the ring. He goes up top. MJF rolls out to the opposite corner. Rolls to the opposite corner. Stands up, puts Aubrey Edwards in front of him. Joey moves her out of the way, and then MJF decks Joey with the forearm. He has control. During the commercial, Joey turns the tables. He hits MJF with a superplex. We come back. Joey goes up the top rope. Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford come out to the stage, and they just start making out.
Yeah, man. Hot action right there.
Yeah.
Joey Janela's grossed out. Unlike everybody else. I understand why he is. He's had that before. Does want to see that with somebody else.
Guess not.
All the rest of us, we enjoy watching attractive people sucking face.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he goes for the top rope elbow because he's up there staring at his ex and her new beau up there sucking face, as you put it.
Sucking face.
He waits too long. MJF moves out of the way of the elbow. He hits double cross. That's what he's calling the cross. So Joey had a heck of a sell. He planted himself right on the top of his head.
I know.
Ow.
That was rad. That looked great.
So MJF wins. Afterwards, he calls for the mic. And he goes, yeah, because Cody last week talked about how MJF just, is just another chapter in Cody's story. And MJF says, yeah, you're right. I'm the last chapter in your story.
Yeah.
Cody comes down the ring. MJF reminds him, hey, you can't put a finger on me. And then MJF is like, all right, you can say, it's your time now. You can say your piece. Here you go. And then drops the mic at his feet.
Yeah, and then Cody's like, okay. He goes big and then he kicks it.
Eventually, Cody gets the mic. MJF starts walking up the ramp. Cody's talking. It's like, yeah, you're right. I can't lay a finger on you. And all the while, the Young Bucks
The
are
sneaky Young Bucks.
sneaking up behind MJF. And then they hit him with stereo super kicks, take him over the pool, toss him in the pool.
Yeah, it was a good moment.
Yeah.
It was a good little moment right there. So Cody has gotten around the clause, I can't touch you, because he knows people and they can touch him.
Exactly. Oh, a lot of people talk about Jericho's entrance for his match. That was great to have the entire crowd singing Judas.
Oh, man.
That was really cool.
And they're all, thank you, Jericho. I know.
And they had the sparklers.
Yeah.
And you walk by him and he was doing this so it didn't get in his eye.
Yeah. That was good stuff. That was really good stuff. After that, we had the Kenny Omega Hangman Page interview. They're already in their civilian clothes. Hangman drink in hand. Kenny had a tea
Yeah, he had
in
some
his
tea.
hand.
Kenny doesn't drink.
No.
Well, he drinks tea.
He only drinks tea. He drinks, just not alcohol.
Not alcohol.
He's
so
a
the first,
teetotaler.
Yeah. So So the first question I think was for Kenny. He answered it.
Teetotalist?
And then Tony asked Paige a question. And then Paige starts to answer. And then Tony cuts him off.
Why is everybody being a dick to Paige?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But he was like,
He said, "Thank you, congratulations," and then he goes back and he
like,
starts talking to
Kenny about Pac.
Pac, yeah.
Pac, I mean. Kenny calls Pac human excrement.
Yeah,
that was great.
He's not going to say the S word. He's Kenny Omega.
Yeah, no.
Pure of heart.
And he says, right now my priority is fitting these tag titles with one of my best friends in the world, Adam Page.
Yeah.
And I'll get around. Pac, you'll get your match eventually.
Yeah.
And then the Young Bucks.
Annoying.
And it's like, because they're right around Kenny, and Page is on his side of the frame with Shivani. But, I mean, like, the Young Bucks are literally like right behind Kenny.
He's in a shit sandwich, man. He's got, idiot Shivani on one side. He's
crap
got
barista on one side.
Yeah.
Annoying Young Bucks
barista
on the other side.
Exactly.
And so the Young Bucks are like, hey, it's awesome. And Page is like, oh, yeah, I bet you're surprised that we won these before you did, huh?
Yeah. And you can see just Kenny like, so awkward.
Yeah.
Oh, I know he doesn't like them. They can't really get the hint, but they're still my best friends, and he's my best friend. It's just awkward.
Yeah.
It's all awkward.
It was great.
Yeah, it was really good. Really good stuff. Because you feel for Kenny in this situation.
You really do. You really do. And that brings us to our main event. Pac, dude. Pac.
When are you going to show him the respect, you bastard? He'll know your face off, you bastard. Pac versus John Moxley with DD rib tape on his eye.
I feel like Pac is just like a cooler name than Pac.
Well, he has decided otherwise, and you are not. It's not to you.
I'm kayfabing his name to my liking.
Oh my goodness,
Pac. Jericho shows up on commentary. It's called a bunch of people stupid idiots.
Yeah, I like that. I thought he was good on commentary. He was good because he was actively rooting for Pac.
Yeah, I know.
He just doesn't want Moxley, even though Moxley is now the one-eyed guy who starts bleeding.
I know.
Starts bleeding underneath his bandage.
Yeah, that was gross.
That was disgusting.
That was nasty. Early on, Pac lifts up the eye bandage and starts hitting some cross faces across his lame eye.
Yeah.
I think it starts bleeding.
They should gimmick like a fake eye that pops out.
Oh, I know. Underneath. Well, I think on the Jericho cruise, like Mox is wearing an eye patch the whole time.
He should. That's good.
I only saw one picture of him with was it Marco and Janela with Ric Flair?
Yeah,
and he had the eye patch on.
I know he should. That's
should.
good. Like we've had this discussion before. Certain situations, man, you got to keep kayfabe alive.
Yeah, no,
you do.
This is one of those you got to.
The Jericho cruise, I feel like they should, for the most part, kind of be in character.
Well, here's why: because you're basically putting on a show for how many days?
Yes, exactly.
So when you're not in the ring, you have to be in character.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're just going out to the grocery store, fine, don't wear the eye patch.
Do you have dedication? You were the one who was saying Daniel Bryan shouldn't have used fake hair.
No.
I think you should be held to the same standard then. If you're gonna shoot the hair, if you're gonna keep the hair shoot, when you go to the grocery store, keep kayfabe alive.
These people need to have lives. These people need to have some semblance of normal life.
Well, I'm not saying that like.
You're pretty saying that Mox has to wear the eye patch everywhere in public.
Yes.
No.
I mean, dude, you got Postmates these days. Why do you need to go out anyways?
Because
you don't have to go anywhere.
I'd assume most people don't enjoy being shut-ins.
Well, it's just the duration of the kayfabe injury. What's
That's
the big
another
deal?
month.
Oh, that ain't nothing.
It's a month. You can't go out in public without wearing an eye
30 days.
patch.
Yeah, are you dedicated to the craft or aren't you?
All right, eye patch challenge, Steve. You try to wear an eye patch when you go out in public for 30 days.
Well, I'm not getting paid freaking Mox money.
I'll buy you a Mountain Mike's large meat pizza if you can accomplish it.
Well, I'm going to get that on Sunday anyways.
Oh, you're going to spring for Mountain Mike's?
No, we're going to spring for
it. Well, you said you're going to get it. So
we sold 2 of these anti-cold garments.
Yeah.
That's our Mountain Mike
Mountain
money
Mike's fun right there.
Exactly, yeah.
Yep. So of course, the story of this was Mox has that giant target on his eye.
Yeah.
That rib tape across it. Pac obviously targets it.
Yeah, of course.
We go to commercial. We come back. Pac hits a missile drop kick. Mox pretty much no sells it. Gets up, responds, clothesline. They're both selling stuff. This bit was great. Pac does a jawbreaker, but to Mox's bad eye.
Yeah.
And that was awesome.
It's just a big target, basically.
Yeah, I know. Puts Mox on the top rope. Goes for a superplex. Mox pushes him up. Goes for an elbow. Pac gets his knees up. Locks in a brutalizer. No. Mox rolls through for a pinning combo, gets a 2. Oh, man. When Pac started doing the quad kicks to Mox's face.
Yeah.
Man, quad kicks might be my second favorite move in wrestling behind a good chop.
It's good stuff.
It's great. You just grab somebody by the hair and kick their face repeatedly.
Yeah, I like that.
Man.
I kind of prefer the Danielson stomps, though.
I like those, too.
Because you got the arms for leverage.
Leverage, exactly.
You're just doing this. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
It's great. But quad kicks are great, too.
Quad kicks makes it seem like the person taking the kicks are kind of like powerless to do anything about it.
Right, exactly.
Because it seems like you really should be able to stand up.
Yeah.
And yet you can't.
Yeah. Thing of hair.
Now, Danielson stomps, I understand. You're like, you really can't do much.
Can't do anything. He's got wrist lock. He's got wrist lock control.
He's got wrist control of both your wrists. He goes with the top rope, goes Pac that is, goes for a black arrow. Mox gets his knees up, gets the cover, only a 2 count. Tries for a sleeper, but Pac tosses him off. Hits a German suplex. Both men are down. Pac eventually gets back up, tries for another black arrow, misses. Mox goes to the top rope this time. Pac meets him up there, hits the superplex, follows the brutalizer. Mox just barely gets to that bottom rope, though. And that's when Pac.
Thank you.
Takes the eye bandage off, tosses it into the crowd. Just kind of gross if that's real blood pouring out of there.
It'd be awesome if you put like a little blood pack underneath.
I know.
And then as soon as it gets hit, it's just...
Oh, it should be a squib.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Everywhere.
And then he starts punching Mox in the eye. Eventually, though, Mox hits a double underhook DDT. Kind of out of nowhere. Falls with Paradigm Shift to get himself the win.
Mm-hmm.
So Mox is your number 1 contender. He's going to take on Jericho. And Jericho's like,
very not happy about that. Not happy. Good stuff. Let's answer some questions.
Yeah, sounds good.
Let's see here. Ryan Luckman, what's your least favorite aspect of Dynamite? Obvious answers excluded. It's funny because people always complain about the audio issues. And while I understand you want a product that comes off as professional, it's never really bugged me before. Like, it bugs me more because most of the time it's just because the crowd can't hear it, which I understand. Mm-hmm. It's probably annoying for the crowd, but I don't really care. Least favorite aspect of Dynamite, obvious answers excluded. Like, my biggest issue with Dynamite right now, which is obvious, is the women's division. I think
it's lacking focus.
And this week wasn't any better.
No, it just completely lacks focus.
I feel like everything is an obvious answer, though. That's the problem. There's nothing really that bugs me about it.
The only thing that kind of bugs is I feel like XLAX and the Lucha Bros are kind of underutilized. I mean, they're on TV regularly, but...
You think they have bigger roles?
Yeah, they're all massive stars.
Yeah.
And then they said, there is a huge emphasis on tag team wrestling, which they said they're going to do, but they're also like, yeah, we're going to make it so tag teams can main event. And every week it's the tag team match that opens the show, not closes it.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, to an extent, I understand that because
it's a tough. Yeah, I know.
It's like tag team, really good tag team wrestling. Get a crowd really hyped for a show. I understand you want to open your show with a hot match, get the crowd into it. Makes tons of sense. Get it entirely.
Apparently, they're introducing a trios title.
That's what Kenny
by
said
next year or something like that.
Like at some point after yesterday's tapings. Yeah.
Yeah. So, how do you feel about that?
I'd almost kind of wish they do something a little different. Do like an intergender tag team titles or tornado tag titles or something different.
Yeah.
Than just 6-man.
When I saw the 6-man match yesterday, I was like, yeah, they kind of do, because they do have they do have quite a few anyways. Mm-hmm. Guys that probably need more stuff to do. But no, I agree with you. Like, there isn't, if they were really treating the tag situation the way they said they would, like I think it's probably still, it's better than NXT's tag division.
Oh yeah, it's way deeper, that's for sure.
But what are they doing with it?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I feel you.
Anything
It's like
else?
So I feel like, so their A story is really good. Like the Cody thing is really good. They've got Jericho, Moxley. That's decent. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's all right.
They've got Cody, MJF. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. The paid stuff is really good.
That's really good, and that's concerning the tag division. That's basically the tag division story going on right now.
And there's just nothing. Yeah, there's nothing going on really in the tag division below the A story. There's A story and nothing.
Yeah, there's no real. There isn't really. It's funny because we've said like they have like a mid-card division, but they don't really do much with them except for use them to put over guys who are going to go over anyways. Like Darby Allin keeps on having matches, and they're fantastic matches.
He just keeps losing them.
But he keeps on losing them.
Here's the thing that bugs me. I mean, this is obvious. Like, the power rankings don't really mean anything. Because, like, Mox has been number 1 ranked for weeks.
Yeah.
Weeks. And yet he has to have his match against Pac to actually earn the title shot.
I thought that was I thought that was already in stone before they said, "Oh, let's get him as number 1 contender."
I know.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing with that match between the triple threat match, the Kenny and Hangman XLAX best friends match. Like, going into that match, XLAX was number 1 contenders.
Yeah.
They never got their title shot.
Yeah, they've done that a couple times. I know.
So anyways, Nick C. Moxley will be at Toy Con in Vegas this year, and I'm getting a pick with him. I have a pick with Seth already, and just need Roman to complete the trio.
Oh, there you go. Jimmy Thomas. I love how Hangman's story is that he feels like he's in the rest of the Elite Shadow and deals with it with alcohol. Also, I chuckle at JR and Tony covering their faces when the pyro went off anytime. I'm not a fan of being there live when pyro's going off. You can attest to that.
Yeah, you don't like pyro.
I don't like it. Loud noises, not into it.
I love it. I love the pyro.
I'm like a dog. I get scared by pyro.
Pretty much. Tommy Cat just says, #save Matt Chat. There's Matt Chat this week. Matt Chat's not going anywhere anytime soon. We talked about it earlier in the week. Changing a few things, primarily, though, just kind of asking Matt Chat regulars to keep things topical. I think the show performs better. Gives us more to talk about when the topics are topical, relevant to what's going on currently in the world of professional wrestling.
Yeah.
So we'll give that a try, see how it does, and go from there. Joe Juarez, Prime Ric Flair on the Jericho cruise? Prime Ric Flair?
What did he do?
I don't know.
Did he whip it out?
I hope not. James McBreen, how great was MJF calling Joey Janela jelly? I missed that.
Oh, I missed that too. Rick Co. So definitely had a crazy pop for Hangman and Kenny's win. Were you guys shocked or did it make sense? I was not shocked. I thought it was a distinct possibility. I didn't think it was going to happen, but when I heard about it, because I had it spoiled for me, I wasn't shocked at all. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm glad. I was happy that it means they're extending the storyline into more interesting territory.
Yes.
So I was glad they did that.
And it's good they realize there's something good going on. They're working with it. Adrian C. Was that Britt Baker promo the cringiest of 2020 so far? Also, they sure did go from 0 to 60 on the heel turn, didn't they? Should have been more of a bit of a slow burn, much like the Hangman story. Yeah, it should have been a slow burn.
It hasn't been focused. There hasn't been like solid reasons for her to be acting like a dick all of a sudden.
Well, on her lower third, it said frustrated that she never won the AEW Women's title. Like, sometimes they'll put character motivation on the top line of their lower third when they come out for a match.
Yeah.
So that was your motivation right there. Was it the cringiest? No. Shivani kind of saved it with his reaction.
What's been the cringiest promo? I know there's been some bad ones.
Yeah. You're still young, too, so.
I would say that was probably for me on par with Toni Storm last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever she came out and said, remember that song about you twice?
I just think if Britt's promo was like that, the thing she shot in advance of her match again,
B. Priestley was great.
Was really good.
I know.
It was really good because it was focused.
I know. It was focused.
And by all accounts, like, she did that herself.
Yeah.
She brought herself up to Atlanta, drove, or I don't know if she's living in Pittsburgh. I assume she's living in Orlando.
I think they said that she flew.
Okay, so flew from Orlando to, it's like an 8-hour drive, so I wasn't sure if she would drive from Orlando to Atlanta. Assuming she lives in Orlando with Adam Cole, I don't know. And did that herself, or made sure it was produced because she thought it would add to the match, which it did. It was great.
Yeah, it was.
And it was focused. So I think this is just a situation where it just wasn't focused. If she because she like addressed like 6 different lanes. If she'd picked one and just went with that, I think it would have been fine.
It's the, sometimes so much was made about WWE scripts their promos. Sometimes you need a little bit of scripting, or at least
sometimes you just need some direction and some focus.
Yeah, but here's the thing: for all we know, a lot of stuff we don't know. For all we know, they gave her direction and focus, and you're out there and you don't have words to remember, and so you lose your focus and you start going off in a different direction. Like, that might be the case, and I don't. It's honestly, it seems like a wrestler to wrestler basis where. Sometimes maybe they're better served with scripts.
Could be.
Sometimes maybe they're not.
Yeah.
I don't know. Seems obvious.
We have some more nominees for cringiest promo. Cassandra says any Lana promo. She's had some bad ones. Dang MQ says any King Corbin promo.
Well, I don't know if I'd call him cringy. They're just boring, but he doesn't stumble.
Cassandra says Street Profits backstage talking about the multiverse.
Oh, that was the worst.
Monday after Weekend Update this week was pretty cringy.
And that's the case where scripted promos are like terrible because all that Angelo Dawkins stuff was so over scripted.
Yeah, and he kind of forgot his lines at one point.
Oh, and then the Monday thing is terrible. Yeah, the Monday after Weekend Update or whatever.
Yeah, that was bad.
That's awful stuff. Yeah, the multiverse. That's a good one. He just lost himself. I'm like, you poor bastard. How could they do that to you? Just shove paragraphs of like a Neil deGrasse Tyson verbiage in front of you. Moments.
Here, Angelo.
Have a match.
Host Cosmos.
Yeah, exactly. And wasn't it like right after a match also?
Yeah.
That was terrible.
I know. Like sometimes they ask these performers to do a match, and then it's like, oh, here's 2 pages of dialogue you got to recite. And I'm sure they get that script 5 minutes before they do it.
Yeah.
At least you're hosting Cosmos, guess what you get? A teleprompter. You get to read the words off the screen.
You think on Cosmos, you think they're reading a teleprompter?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't think
or at least they get the benefit of doing multiple takes.
Cosmos is the Neil deGrasse Tyson one. Right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I assume there were stand-ups in there.
Oh, I'm not saying he does it live. I'm saying that, he is. Yeah, he's doing it to the camera. I think that he probably memorizes his lines, though.
He might, but there's.
I don't think there's like huge chunks of dialogue.
I don't remember from like the stand-up segments that there's huge chunks.
It's all green screen because he's in a cheesy spaceship.
Oh,
like
yeah,
a spaceship of the mind.
Yeah. How about that?
I love that show though. I think they're bringing it back.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm happy about that. It's like my favorite contribution Seth MacFarlane has had to the entertainment industry.
Yeah, bringing back Cosmos. Because like I think Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford could be great.
Yeah, I know, man.
Just let them be them.
I know.
Just let them be them.
That dude's been in. He was in development over 7 years. I'm sure he's learned something.
And then they say, "Oh, here,
read this script. Read this terrible script.
Read this terrible script about multiple universes." That yeah.
Undisputed Phoenix. Hey, friendos, do you think Hangman will turn on Kenny during their tag title reign and lead to a match or evolution between the two in a champion versus champion match?
No.
I don't see that happening now, but it's very possible that Hangman versus Kenny might happen in the future.
Down the future. I think the most likely scenario is at some point Page shows up drunk for a match, and that's why they lose their titles.
Yeah.
Joe Juarez, what other unique venues can AEW do? We got a boat. That place in Jacksonville they have the shows is really cool. I like that amphitheater.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
That's a cool place. They should do one at the ECW arena.
Oh, that'd be fun. That'd be cool. That'd be neat. Well, they shut down. Didn't they demolish the old PWG place? Yeah, that's a bummer. Although the theater they do it in now, I mean, I know it's a small venue.
Globe Theater, yeah.
You can't get 5,000. I think it's like 1,200 or something like that.
I think it's like 800.
Is it really? Okay. Yeah. Still, that's a different setting.
What about other outdoor type places?
Oh, like a KOA?
Sure. That's good.
A campground?
Water park.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah. Have a ring set up in the middle of with a lazy river going around it.
That's good. Office building.
There you go. Well, we're just entering DDT territory now.
And who wouldn't want that?
Oh, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously. Double J, ain't he great? Why would they keep using pyro with it being so windy?
I'm sure they know what they're doing.
I would hope, yeah.
You'd like to assume they know what they're doing, but I guess you never know. DJ Booty Dan, since the lower thirds now include character development plots, what are some of the most ridiculous ideas to put on AEW characters' infographics? Inner thoughts.
Well, we kind of got that with Page. He's had a few too many.
Yeah, but if they get really goofy with it,
or
is tired, Hangman Page is tired of the Young Bucks hanging around,
or Nick is the worst Jackson.
Stuff that,
something like
that. Stuff that Here it is. Things that if
you want inner monologues on there.
If other people actually watch if other characters watch the show, that it would be revelatory to them. Mm-hmm. You don't want them discovering that stuff by watching the show. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's one thing that always bugs me about WWE is those backstage segments where if the opponent would simply watch the show, they would learn what's going on, and it ruins the story.
I know.
And so it doesn't make any sense.
Samuel Cruz, do you think AEW will eventually fall into some of WCW's bad habits? Well, so long as they don't hire Vince Russo or Eric Bischoff, I think they'll be okay.
Well, none of the people. I mean, look, are there? No, I don't, because WCW's main issue was the inmates were running the asylum, and yes, I understand that people on camera are booking the show. I get that, but there is there are consequences. There's culpability. Tony Khan is there, and I imagine if you piss that guy off, you're going to get fired. It's not like Nash and Hall locking Bischoff in a broom closet and nothing's going to happen to them. If you lock Tony Khan in a broom closet, you're probably going to be fired.
Yeah,
you're probably going to get fired and worse.
Yeah.
So I think that's the main thing, is that you had all these huge contracts, huge egos running around WCW, and they would just do whatever they wanted to do without any fear of consequence.
And I think also everybody was looking out for themselves more than anything else. And I feel like, at least right now with AEW, they're trying, like collectively, the EVPs are trying to build a product.
I get the
for
impression,
the future, not just get themselves over now.
Number one, they've always come off like good people, and I mean, granted, I don't know them personally or anything, but like they do always come off as very fan friendly. They look like they're trying to put out a product that people will enjoy, and they are fine being selfless in the product, in the process. They're getting paid a lot of money, and so there's no reason for them to put themselves over necessarily, and that was what a lot of people consider the problem going into the new year. So I don't know.
Anthony Wood, what do you expect the ceiling for some of the smaller guys such as Jungle Boy or Marco?
I think Jungle Boy can do pretty well. I think he's got everything. I mean, it's going to take some time for him to get his promo on task.
I think of all the smaller guys, Darby Allin right now has got the highest ceiling.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that. It'll be interesting to see where he's at in 5 years. Hafty. Darby Allin rides a skateboard down to the ring. What are your favorite entrances involving wheeled transportation? Nothing will beat the fan picture taken of Big E being transported to the ring via that little cart thing.
At the Rumble,
At the Rumble, was it 2 years ago?
Something like that, yeah.
It was that long-ass ramp they had. It was huge.
It was massive.
And they wouldn't show people coming down. They'd get on the cart and they'd drive them down.
Yeah.
And was it the Rumble or Mania?
It was a Rumble.
Rumble, okay. And, there's one picture of Braun, and he looks absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
But he's not doing anything goofy, because back then he was still the monster.
Yeah.
And so he's just being very still, but he still looked really goofy. And then you see Big E, and he's got his chest puffed out like this, and he's riding it like an emperor would.
It was great.
Oh, it was amazing. That was awesome. It was
great.
That, and then when Eddie would come out in the lowrider. That was great, too.
Well, Stone Cold, when he came out of the SUV, and we consistently and constantly almost crash into something.
Oh, yeah. That was great. Yeah, the Zamboni also. Also, Hafty, this year's WrestleMania has a pirate theme. We know that Mox himself has one eye and needs to wear a patch to the ring. Is Moxley secretly indicating his desire to return to WWE full-time with a pirate redebut at Mania? That'd be crazy.
Yeah,
puffy shirt.
Yar. Yeah,
Name.
Puffy shirt, parrot on shoulder, John Moxley. That sounds like a pirate name to me.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it does. Captain Moxley.
Yeah.
Yar. Anyways, is that it for the show today? All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. Patrons and YouTube channel members, we've got Who Won Wednesday coming up very shortly. So stay tuned for that. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Till next time. We'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.